Hoops has a healthy hatred for Cathay in land battles that I totally understand. They are a faction that was significantly overbuffed before the Immortal Empires and hasn't been put back into their place since its release, but today he's going to be taking them on with a beautiful double Hell Cannon build, Warriors of Chaos. Lots of marks represented here, Valkia leading the way with a Sorcerer, Lord of Tzeentch. Got a couple of obligatory Hell Striders, a second Hell Cannon over here with some Warriors, Grey Weapons, and two Marauders supporting. Same thing over here. Three Marauder Horsemen, one Horsemaster, two Horsemen, and some Warhounds out there. Against them, we've got one of the most OP lords in the game, the Shugengun Lord. I'm going to continue saying that until Grid of Assembly increases the cost. I'm kind of joking, somewhat, but, I mean, this thing is about 200 cost under where it needs to be in comparison to other hybrid fighter caster lords. Because it is a hybrid fighter caster lord, not a pure caster, which is what it's priced as. Anyway, we'll go on that tangent at the end. Stay tuned for some fun comparisons at the end of the battle if you want. But anyway, yeah, for the rest of the Cathayan army here, we've got some rockets opening up, front line of Jade Warriors, Jade Halberds. It's actually just a box of Jade Warriors and Halberds with a couple of spears and some Jade Crossbowmen as well. Astromancer for some free Celestial Lightnings and Comets. And the Cloak of Omei, Celestial Silk Robe, giving a little bit of melee defense and spell resistance. And there you go, Spear Slopnir, going to come straight through the front line and just shred one unit of Jade Warriors, and then the Hell Cannons are raining in. So the idea here is to hope that the Cathayans don't bring too many cannons, basically, because then they'll just outtrade you at range, and fire in and pull the Cathayans out of position. Likewise, the Jade... yeah, the Shugengun Lord here is having to withdraw Storm of Shadows on Valkia in order to slow her down and keep her from getting within range. Of course, the Shugengun Lord here, great stats, like I said, hybrid fighter caster character, Lore of Yin, Talons of the Night, we've got the Summon as well, Ancestor Warriors, and then Storm of Shadows as we saw there. But yeah, Cathay forced to advance as the Hell Cannons do manage to land some good shots on the Fire Rain rockets, which is actually one of the more high-value targets they could be shooting at anyway. So this is a very effective trade here, even if cost efficiency-wise it's not amazing, at least right at the start. The Hell Cannons should still have plenty of ammunition left over to continue to fight. And it looks like the Fire Rain rocket crew is offline there, and I think that shot... yeah, it looks like it did actually destroy the last of the artillery pieces, so even if they do come back from route, which they're about to get devoured by hounds, it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, nice Infernal Gateway being dropped in the front line here, just wrecking a single Jade Warrior. Marauders moving to engage, as very smart of the Cathayan player here to move in range of the Hell Cannon with his crossbowmen and actually shoot the Hell Cannon crew to death with their ranged attacks. Also going to drop some AoE damage in here. Lightning Strike in the front line to try and push back some of those Marauders. Cathay has absolutely still got teeth, even when put into an uncomfortable situation like this. But Koops, realizing he's getting his Hell Cannon shot, is actually going to try and maneuver them away. Maybe pull these Jade Warrior crossbowmen in, be able to engage them in melee and tie them down. The Hounds are also getting through. Jade Crossbowman's armor will help defend against this attack, but at the very least, Koops will be able to occupy them while his other units get into combat, make their presence felt. Horsemen, Horsemasters moving in. Arguably, I think you should probably bring the throwing axes here in a land battle situation like this. You get the armor piercing damage, and they also get a missile block chance, but certainly the Horsemasters' stats will help quite a bit here, as both Hell Cannons continue firing in. A little bit of overkill on that Shattered Peasant Long Spear there, but such is what it is. Valkia the Bloody using that Demon Shield to pop back up in the air, charge down, do a little bit of damage on that Astromancer. Maybe try and break him before he can get his second set of spells off, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Talons of the Night here, just devouring his Chaos Warriors. So, yeah, a lot of AoE damage from Cathay, obviously, is going to just break up a lot of the infantry for Chaos, which is why I kind of understand going with a sort of split mobility build. Also, you're going to pull a lot of units out of Harmony range, like this Jade Warrior right here is out of Harmony range, right? Like this Jade Warrior and this Jade Warrior are both outside of Harmony range, which is going to be huge. Harmony is a huge, huge buff, and especially when you're near an amplifier source like this Shugengun Lord, another crazy aspect of the Shugengun Lord. just increasing that harmony effect can get really out of hand. It's one of the ways that Jade Warriors can beat Chaos Warriors, actually, if they have harmony with amplifiers active. But regardless, it's going to be all right for the Warriors as some Hellstriders move in. They're going to get hit by a really well-placed lightning strike and do quite a bit of damage to the unit. Also get counter-collapsed by the Jade Warriors. But again, just bogging down those crossbowmen long enough for their other power units to get the work done. Hell Cannon continuing to pull back. I love this. Scoops kind of actually kiting with these Hell Cannons and just continuing to countercharge and bog down Jade Warriors and other units. Horsemen a little bit far out of position. You don't want to bring them closer. They can contribute with their ranged attacks, even if they are a little bit of risk of the crossbowmen. But that's another reason why, again, a lot of people don't realize, but the Throwing Axe Horsemen, except the Khorne variant specifically, all the rest have the shields. From Norska to Nurgle to the Warriors of Chaos. Definitely recommend in this matchup and against Dwarfs are two really good use cases for them. But anyway, another Talons of the Night here going to be unleashed on those Warriors. Cathay's definitely taken some significant losses, but they're not out of this yet. To balance power slightly in the Warriors' favor. The Hellstriders can be deployed at this stage to chase routing units. Not the best AP values on the anti-large variant. I think the Whip variant would probably be better for cleaning up infantry, but there you go. Need to prepare for possible mass Jade Lancers here, which I still think this build might be somewhat vulnerable to. It's hard to say. Chicken Gun Lord's going to charge down and just try and take on Soul of Damnation now in melee, try and get that Hell Cannon shut down. This other Hell Cannon is still online, though, and still just wearing down the Cathayans through thousands of cuts. Yeah, Hellstriders maneuvering here, taking a couple of volleys. The Jade Crossbowmen, you see how the Halberds are trying to stay as close as possible so they don't get too far out of position. But another beautiful Infernal Gateway there, right on top of where Valkia is kind of forming this blob. Does a huge amount of damage to these Halberds, to the Crossbowmen, to Peasant Long Spears. Really, really nice value there. I actually like this quite a bit, just taking the Tzeentch Sorcerer as Warriors of Chaos. It's something you don't see a ton, but I think it's something probably more people should be doing, just because Lore of Tzeentch is so good at dealing damage, especially against kind of stationary armored factions. But Hell Cannon's continuing to rain in some fire there. The Soul of Damnation crew maybe could have survived, perhaps had some of their other units held in the nearby vicinity, but they are going to get isolated there and start to get dragged down by those Jade Halberds. These Jade Warriors also getting in range of that other Skull Cannon, so Skull Cannon's time are unfortunately done for both units, but let's see. Valkyria's still got plenty of HP left. There's plenty of light cavalry as well. Chase some of these routing units, but certainly anyone's game left. I don't have my multiplayer UI mod, so I can't see the Winds of Magic for both players. But assuming Tzeentch still has a little bit for another Infernal Gateway or two, that could be enough to just clean up what's left of the Cathayan infantry. Certainly a lot of their power has been severely diminished. And like these Jade Warriors, as they're chasing this Hell Cannon crew, are going to be chased by the Marauders and taking free damage basically the whole time, right? So, tough situation for sure. Valkia, Missile Block Chance, still flying through the air, tanking those shots, going to go straight into the crossbows, kind of daring the Shooting Gun Lord to countercharge in. Maybe we'll see an Ancestral Warriors summon here. There was one earlier that Valkia just managed to avoid entirely. Demon Shield popped. Storm of Shadows also being used there to try and lock her on the ground, but finally the Marauder Horsemen are being deployed in the late game to clean up with some Javelin fire here, get some decent damage on those Jade Warriors. Let's see if Valkia can catch, even with the Storm of the Night here. Cathayan player slipping up, definitely doesn't want the Shooting Gun Lord fighting Valkia, although she's gonna do okay. I love the hard land here, though, right in the middle of the Jade Halberds to get some kind of support, although Valkia doesn't count as large, as we have seen. She's not going to be subjected to that anti-large bonus. Still, just having that support infantry is nice, although the Shooting Gun Lord should be fighting with the infantry rather than just leaving the infantry to fight on their own. You definitely would want to be cycle charging, or else come cycle charge like this Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch. Maybe you get the Astromancer and the Shooting Gun Lord together to go try and 2v1 Valkia over there. There's a few different things Cathay could try and do at this point to come back, but looking pretty grim for them. Infantry is going to be slowly ground down over time. One more big Infernal Gateway. The Tzeentch Sorcerer calling it in. finishes off a significant blob of infantry. Valkia moves in to finish off the Astromancer on his part, with some more javelin fire raining down. Horsemasters, Hellstriders moving in for the kill. And should be army losses fairly soon for Cathay, I would think. The Hell Cannons try and get back online, but are unable to. There's only one crewman left of the Soul of Damnation, at least 3 or 4 to man a Hell Cannon. So anyway, Cathay's going to hit army losses there, and that will be the end. Or not, maybe not quite, but throw in the towel at the very least. And it's an interesting build. Both the Hell Cannons ended up getting some pretty nice value, and I would love to check the value once my game finishes loading. There we go. Yeah, neither of them ended up paying for themselves, but tactically, to kind of pull Cathay out of position and get them out of their comfort zone, absolutely huge. Both Valkia and the Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch are very cost-effective, especially the Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch on foot like that. Low risk of getting sniped by Cathay, and also, yeah, just able to get some really cost-effective value. Infantry for warriors, as expected, gets detonated by Cathay's AoE magic damage, and in the late game, the light cavalry is able to clean up, but a lot of this build success comes from these 4 units right here. For Cathay, 1802 on the Shogun Lord. We'll look at her cost in just a minute. Absolutely OP. But, yeah, let's see here. Jade Crossbowmen, a couple of them managed to do okay. The rest of Cathay's units largely struggle to pay for themselves in terms of cost, though. So let's take a look now. I just prepared a quick comparison for you guys, just so you understand how strong the Shogun Lord is for her cost. But keep in mind, 500 cost, right? Priced like a pure caster, because we come in here, we look, oh yeah, the Supreme Sorceress is 450, so pretty close, right? But then look at the difference in stats. 100 extra weapon strength, 10 defense, 16 attack, faster speed, more charge, more armor. Literally, in every way except for mount selection, the Shogun Lord is better. And, like, just for a fun comparison, we can come in here and mount them both on Pegasus-sized mounts, which cost the same, so the price difference is going to be the same. And again, we come in and compare the stats and just see the difference in stats here. I mean, yes, Supreme Sorceress has 5 more leadership, but that's not enough to account for that much of a difference, right? Okay, let's put them back on foot here and continue on with our comparisons. Showcased this one yesterday, but it is worth noting. I mean, she's literally half the cost of Tehenowin. It doesn't have double her combat value, definitely. In my opinion, she should be priced the same as this guy right here. It's basically a side grade. Like, yes, you get more armor on the Sorcerer Lord, but you have less HP base, a little bit more melee defense, less melee attack, you know, less weapon strength, whatever else. But very similar to this Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Death. Then if we compare to the Vampire Lord, you'll see that she is a step down from the Vampire Lord. Oh, sorry, I've screwed up this comparison here. Yeah, she is a step down from the Vampire Lord, 80 less weapon strength, less attack defense, so should be less than the Vampire Lord, certainly. But, like, especially on the Pegasus mount, right, where she goes up to 70 armor, it's just, yeah, the comparisons start to get pretty insane. I mean, obviously, this guy doesn't have necessarily a Pegasus mount, so the Manticore is not going to be a perfect comparison, but even still, I mean, 300 more points on the Manticore, and it's not that much more combat power. 300 extra HP. Or, sorry, no, the Shogun Lord actually has 300 more HP than a dude on a Manticore. So, yeah, seems a little bit undercosted. Plus 200 points base cost for the Shogun Lord, I think would be just fine. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.